so you've clicked through from the playlist, and so I'm assuming you're wanting to know what the hack is to make this stuff a bit easier to use. By the way, if you haven't come through the playlist and just do some random link or some search, this is the three-dimensional wood panelling self-adhesive quasi-acoustic panelling stuff. It's got sort of a foamy sort of texture feel to it. If you're searching for that, well, I've got a hack to make using it a lot easier. Now, there's different sorts around, but the stuff I had was an absolute nightmare to use in getting the backing tape off, and a lot of the forums people have said the same. Okay, so I've come up with a hack to make it easier, and we'll take a little bit of a look at that now. Okay, so the first thing you need to do is to actually cut the piece to the rough size you need, and to flatten it out, lay it overnight on the floor with some books, because otherwise it's going to try and curl up as you're trying to work with it, because it's come on a tight roll. But once you've done that, the real issue that I found, and other people on forums have found, is getting the backing film off. It's got this very, very thin sort of plasticky film on it. Now, I'm sure there's different grades of this stuff, and some stuff's better than others, but the stuff I had was a nightmare. First of all, getting it going. I mean, you're playing with this for minutes, you know, about 20 minutes one of them was, to try and get it going. It's so thin, and this stuff is so sticky that it was a real nightmare to get it going. And then once you did, what would happen is it would split, it would tear, and you'd be peeling it back and leaving some of it on there, which again, you had to try and peel off, and you'd end up with these little bits. It was a real absolute nightmare. And certainly in the demonstration video that I saw online where they were trying to sell it, couldn't have been the same backing stuff. It just peeled off too easily. So the hack that I found worked really well was to use masking tape. So on the back of the material on this nightmare film, put strips of masking tape down, start them close to the edge, each edge, and put 2 or 3 in the middle depending on the size you're using, and rub that down really, really tight, particularly at the end. Have a little bit sticking out over the end of the material, and that's what you're going to use to sort of tease this off. Once you've done that, just slowly start peeling off each piece of masking tape piece by piece, and you should see this film just lifting off nicely. Now, sorry, I know I'm getting in the way of the camera sometimes here, but ease it back gently, and when you've got enough of it come off, what you can do, you can then bunch it and pull it off in one piece. So you're grabbing all 4 or 5 pieces of masking tape in one hand and slowly easing it back. And what you'll find, it will just come off. And it's been, once I discovered that hack, it's been very reliable. Occasionally I've lost a little bit, but what I've done in those circumstances, I've put another piece of masking tape on the bit that was left behind, again making it go off the edge, peeling it off and getting it going, and that came off. But it was an absolute godsend when I found this hack, because I was about to throw the whole lot in the bin. And once you've done that, you're ready to stick it onto your substrate. Okay, I hope that was of use. I don't normally do teaching videos because who am I to teach, but it was such a useful hack I had to pass it on, because it's good stuff, but wow, it's a nightmare. Now, talk about substrate, and I did mention this in the main video that you click through from. By the way, if you've come here through some random link or search, what we're doing is we're building out a camper van, and we've built out most of the or pretty well all of the inside before actually buying the base van itself. Complete different way, and that's what the place is all about. But we've now got the van, and we're starting to fit out, bring all that stuff back from the store and start fitting out the van. And this stuff I'm using on ceiling panels and on window door panels, cards. Okay, now talk about substrate. As I said in the main video, I'm putting this on 3.6mm ply, which is fine, but you need to prepare it. Some people have had issues when the van's got really hot, they haven't got great insulation, if it coming a bit unstuck. Which is amazing because this stuff is so sticky you can't get it off you. But I can understand that might have been an issue. It seems that people who've done the prep haven't had these issues, so you need to either varnish it or give it a PVA wash just to seal up the wood before you stick it on. Anyway, yeah, so if you have gone through a random link, there's some cards at the end. If you want to do the old like or subscribe nonsense, that'd be fantastic. And if you do, I'll catch you in the next video.